Ahoy! I've been using smartphone gimbal with monopod many times in my past videos, and I get a lot of questions from you. A lot of people are asking, how are you really doing that? What modes are you using? How are you operating the smartphone gimbal, etc, etc, etc. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing some creative shots with smartphone gimbal and monopod to cover the large angle shots. Some people refer to it as a fake drone shots, even though those are completely different because you cannot simply fake a drone, you really have to send it out. But you still get that kind of a bird's eye perspective, a little bit higher perspective, especially if you're a petite person. The stuff we don't normally see from eye level, from this eye level. So let's get going. Majority of those creative shots you can do with any gimbal. And for the new faces, welcome. My name is Zdenka, Darula. If your passion is photography and video, consider subscribing to this channel. Let's start with what do you need. Obviously, you need a smartphone and a gimbal. I'm going to be using today Hohem iSteady V2. I have reviewed this gimbal 2 or 3 weeks ago. Everything I'm going to be showing in today's video is linked below in a video description. You will also need a lightweight, as long as possible, monopod to be able to create very large movements. If your gimbal comes with a selfie stick, you can use that as well, but the angle shots will be quite limited because you're not going to be able to reach that high or that far. Let's start with just basic shots and build it up all the way to very creative ones which have not been shown on this channel yet. Everything I'm going to be filming today is going to be filmed in ProTake app. Hohem iSteady has a very good stabilization. However, ProTake app can give me extra level of stabilization. I'm going to be also filming everything in just automatic mode in 60 frames per second because some of the clips I would like to slow down in the post. I will be able to play with them a little bit. You can film in 24 frames per second or 30, doesn't matter, if you want to keep the clips in a real speed. First shot is just standing on the spot, facing the camera at the ground, and slowly lift the monopod up. I'm using auto follow mode because I want the tilt motors to be unlocked, and I'm slowly revealing the location. And you can absolutely do the same thing if you're going to be walking forward and you lift it up, or walking backwards, lift it up, or even if you go sideways. The best lens to use is ultra wide angle lens because it's going to look that you are even higher. I'm going to go backwards. You can also do the grand reveal in tilt locked mode if you want to start, let's say, behind a bush or tall grass, like in a flashlight position, and just go up. Now, some of the gimbals don't have very large tilt movement like this gimbal as well, so this is the maximum I can really get. What I do to help to get that angle even bigger, I just added a mini mini ball head on a monopod to help to get the angle up. And the same applies with the variations. You can go forward, you can go backwards, you can go sideways. Since I also have selfie stick for this gimbal, I'm gonna show the same shot with a selfie stick. This one has actually an elbow, so you can bend it towards you. And as you can see, the movement is not that high. This is probably the maximum I can just lift it, but still you get pretty good idea of the location. Walking side shot. If you happen to be in the middle of a tall trees with beautiful flowers or some fruit, or just tall bush, or even in the middle of the buildings, you might want to lift your monopod very high, and you might want to do a side shot. For this one, you want to select tilt follow mode because you don't want the phone to go accidentally up or down. You want to stay in the same level. If you're going to be doing this shot in the middle of the buildings, just make sure you don't film in the windows. You don't want to invade the privacy. Walking forward shot, the same thing like going sideways. The mode you are going to select is tilt lock mode because you don't want the gimbal to go this way. You want to stay as you're walking forward, and you might show a scene where you are getting from one place to the other. Now, you don't want to really do a clip which is 40 seconds long because nobody's gonna stay watching it for that long. So you can just walk, do the long take, and then in a post you can speed up some of the parts and add a blur effect. That way, you will still get the message across. You will show that you are moving from place to place. I really like using monopod whenever I'm on some kind of a structure. It can be gazebo, it can be very high patio and stuff like that, because that way when I raise the monopod I can get the kind of bird's eye perspective. I can look down over it, and for that one I like to use all follow mode. Straight up shot on your friend. If you happen to be with your friend in a park, like I was a while ago with my friend Martina, what I did, I just basically had her lay down on a porch. I had my camera facing on her. I was using ultra wide angle lens and tilt lock mode, making sure the camera doesn't move on me. And very simply, I was lifting the gimbal up and down. If you happen to see your feet in a shot, if you're not on a raised platform and you have a trouble with that, try using just standard lens instead. Up to this point, I've been talking a lot about filming with ultra-wide angle lens, but you can also film with standard lens if you have already enough of ultra-wide angle shots, and you can use monopod for that for hard reachable areas, such as windows, car, branches, or trees. Now, the mode I'm using for this one is tilt lock mode, but sometimes you can also use follow mode. Another idea for creative shots would be using FPV mode. If you use monopod and you go very low to the ground, you're not gonna kill your back, and you can also mix it with shots very high up. Ultra wide angle lens will help you so the movement looks even faster. Next two shots will be very much equipment specific. You will need a gimbal which comes with a remote. This one has a remote, that's why I have it in my hand and I'm controlling everything from my hand. Otherwise, there are a few other gimbals on the market which already have a remote. I might link them below in case you're still in the market. Basically, on this first shot, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be walking forward or walking sideways. And as I will have the gimbal very high in the air, I'm going to be panning to the side. Being able to tilt or pan while you have your gimbal very high will give you many more possibilities for creative shots. To be able to do this shot, what I did, I went to Hohem Pro app and I changed the settings for the gimbal for the joystick to slow. So all the tilt and pan movements from the remote will be very slow. There are two creative shots you can actually do, but you can do them only in Hohem Pro app because you cannot zoom in, zoom out with another app. So I went to the settings and I adjusted the zoom speed to 10 to make sure it is quite slow. And here you can play with dolly zoom. You can zoom in as you're going backwards or you can zoom out as you're going in. And the same thing you can do with focus. You just switch it from Z to F in the app, and here you can actually, with the plus and minus signs, do a focus pull. I like to use it for the closing shots when I'm showing off the location and I go kind of to the ground and I just blur it out. And let's do the obvious. Whenever you're standing on the top of the cliff or you're standing on a raised platform like a tall staircase or even gazebo, which is much higher, and you use ultra-wide angle lens, you lift the gimbal very high in the air, it's gonna look like you're even higher. For that one, I usually use just all follow mode. We've seen quite a bit of shots in today's video with monopod or selfie stick. Let's run through them one more time. Hit the thumbs up if you liked today's video and subscribe to future videos like these. If you have any questions, comments, or simply want to say hi or ahoy, you know what to do. Leave it below and I'll see you, my friends, in the next video. Ciao, ahoy.